Hi y'all, Claudia from the Wee Garden Homestead here. I'm gonna get a little more comfortable. Have you ever had one of those days where you just really don't feel like doing anything? I have them sometimes, especially if I've just finished a big project. And I just finished up those um, bell bottoms, and that took a lot of brain power for me. Took a lot of thinking, took a lot of working out and working things out and all of that. So I'm always looking in between big projects. I have another big one to start here in the next day or two. I'm always looking for something quick and easy that I can just work on a little bit without thinking and no stress. I can sit down and sew for a couple minutes, or I can sit down and sew for an hour. It's just totally what I have time for. So for me this week, I have these bags of scraps, lots of bags of scraps. This one is all mostly small scraps, although some of the ones that are in here are also in some of these other bags. And then these two are more strips. Some of these are shorter strips, some of them are longer strips. That's a lot of strips though, all mixed in together. So what I'm working on, and I worked on it a little bit yesterday too, what I'm working on is doing some of my color wash blocks. Sorry. I was watching a video, and I'll post her link. I can't remember what her name was, but she was doing the Terry Rowland blocks, which is what I've been working on for my color wash. So she was doing the Terry Rowland blocks, and she mentioned that I think it's Kate from Last Homely House did a video about them. So she was doing hers with all light. She wasn't doing color wash. She was doing all light, like real light backgrounds, like whites and that low volume. And she was doing her blocks at 2.5 inches. Now I am doing mine at 3.5. And basically what I do is I do them two ways. So one way is I'll try to find, and usually I'll cut them. Oh, you know what? Let me grab my 3.5 ruler. So sometimes I'll sit at the cutting table and I'll take the longer strips. That one's not very long, but I'll take the longer strips like this, and I'll cut them to what I need. So I'll usually cut two at about 4 inches, and then I'll cut two at about 1.5 inches. And then I'll pick one for a center, and I'll have them all stacked. And then sometimes I'll just go with the long one, and I'll show you the way that I do that. So as I was going through my bucket though, I found some pieces that they were short, but I think, okay, those are long enough for sides, and then there's two more pieces here. So those are long enough for the centers, and then I can just add this piece for the center. And you'll see in just a minute, if you haven't seen these videos yet, how that works. So I did come up with the blue, the pink, and then I came up with two more pinks. And these were already, like I said, these were already cut to this size and ready to go. So I just need centers for those. And I've got a little pile of just little trimmings and stuff like that over here that I can use for centers. Something else I started doing, I was doing them all one color for the outside like that, for the around like that. And then I decided, because I had so many strips that weren't quite enough to go all the way around, I did a couple yesterday that if they were similar, like these are pretty similar, that I could use this for the two sides, and then this for this, a couple of pieces of this for the center. And then I also switched it up. I was just using whatever color I had, whatever color I grabbed for the centers, and I decided I wanted them to be close to the same color. So like blue centers with blue outsides, or maybe green, or maybe purple, because as I do the color wash, blue goes in, purple goes into blue, and blue goes into green. So those could be in the transition blocks. But I did want them to be fairly similar. So blue with blue, or, like that. So let's see, that one can go with that. And then I need two to go with these pinks. I've got this piece I'm just going to cut in half. So that can go with both of those pinks. They won't go together in the quilt. So I can do them like that, or I can do them from strips. So basically, I'm just gonna cut that, and I'm just gonna do a couple blocks so you can see. I don't sweat what color I have in here. I have pink on my bobbin, and I have white on my top, and I have enough here to do a couple blocks, so I'll show you real quick. I'll do the pink ones first. We're going to go to the ironing board and press these and trim them. And then I'm going to sew for a little while and come back and show you what I've gotten done. Okay, here we go. So I've got these 3 that I just did. Just got this little tiny spot on my ironing board so you can see what I'm doing. Just pressing these out. I pressed everything to the outside. When I put them together, I'll make sure I don't match up seams. Like when I put them together, I'll go like that so that these are going on to the one that doesn't have anything. All right, these are the ones I worked on yesterday. I just grabbed what I had a lot of, like big strings. So I got a bunch of blue ones done. I probably don't need a lot more blue ones. I've got a lot of blue ones done already, but we've got more blue. We've got some red and pink and orange. Purple one. This is one that came out. It was short when I did it. These strips were really narrow, so I just added on a strip here and a strip here, and now it's big enough. And then these were ones that I decided I was gonna use 2 different colors for the outsides. And once they're in the quilt, like that one, you'll never notice that once it's at a distance. That one, this one. So that's the ones I got done yesterday. I think there were 18 of them. I'm not sure anymore today. So let's trim up these 3. Now, all I care about is that we make it to 3.5 inches all the way around. This one is very close. I'm not quite sure what happened, but the timer went off, and somewhere in there my phone stopped recording for whatever reason. So between yesterday and today, yesterday I did 18. I did 11 today. I just got, in my 20 minutes, I got 5 done. 1, 2, sewn, 3, 4, 5 sewn. I've got 3 more half sewn here. So I got 11 done today. I've got 18 yesterday. I just counted them off camera. Didn't mean to be off camera, but I did. And these are the ones I already have. I do not know how many are here. 60, 70 maybe. I'll count them before I post this video and put it in the description. So thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'm starting a new quilt tomorrow, so probably these blocks will be put away again. Leave me a hype, leave me a comment, and thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you on the next one.